So long, man. Have a good rest.
Fuck you! Hey! Help me! Taking maybe one step more.
Let me tell you something, guys. When you need a favor, and always need a favor, just call on Don Tony.
Don Tony? Don Tony? What is this? You can't bring dogs in here.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, come on now.
Get fired, eh?
Hey, what's this, man? Oh,
hey, how you doing, man? Oh, look at this, Spice.
What's the handicap tonight?
What's the difference between you and Acme?
I don't know. What is it?
Acme usually comes on a kid's face after they're 12.
That was terrible and distasteful.
Hey,
somebody asked for a favor, because we give favors out.
Right here.
You know, sorry.
Right here, ask for a favor.
Somebody thought your name was Vinny, you know that? Let's go. Say hello to Karma.
There's this Karma and the dog.
As a matter of fact, why don't you just urinate on his face, Karma?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Let's not get it. All right.
Major, you're asking for a favor?
Yeah, I'm asking for a favor right here.
We know each other for a while.
That's true. Listen, we need one guy. Richie Tyler couldn't make it. It's 4-on-3. We have an 8-man elimination match tonight. And we need one more guy. And, asking for a favor from Don Tony.
Well, we got the guy for you right here, straight from Brooklyn. Since he's coming to watch my back, because we got a bunch of juice heads running around thinking they're going to cost me the title, we don't let you here. We don't match. This got nothing to do anyway. I'll tell you something. Don't embarrass us, especially you with the makeup on. Don't embarrass us, slap the makeup on your face. Right? As long as you give us the respect we deserve, respect the Don, we won't have no problems. Nice things up with saying Carmine, right, Carmine?
Carmine, any words?
Next time, please do something about your hair when you're in the presence of us Guineas.
Hey, it takes me about an hour and a half to talk about. Oh, all right, there you have it.
Yeah, get fired.
You'll be all right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Nice. Back to a 4-on-4, baby.
Come on, Carmine.
There you have it, folks. Jerry Blitzwater here. Let's get back to ringside.
It's Saturday night. That means it's time for the Don-O-Mite Show.
The wait all week long is finally over. Get Don Tony's perspective on current affairs in the world of pro wrestling and much more. The Q&A with Don Tony. And now, your host, Don Tony.
That sucked. Oh, that sucked. All right, one more time.
Every Thursday night, you ask the questions, DT gives you his answers. No holds barred.
It's Q&A with Don Tony. This is your chance to speak your mind and be heard about anything.
Q&A with Don Tony. And now, your host, Don Tony.
That's more like it. All right. That's more like it. Is it Saturday yet? I'm going back to my roots, lacing up my boots. Blackhearts, Sports Entertainment Hotline. Don't give it a call. The phone number is no longer active. Shout out to my old buddies. You can see them. Timmy Austin, God rest his soul. The ECW Zombie, good friend of mine, co-host, gone. Matt Zombie, don't know what's going on with him, former co-host, gone. Brian Damage, he's still around, doing okay. Yeah, the Blackhearts. Still, one of the coolest moments was the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels having a match, I think, against the SATs. Remember the SATs from Impact Wrestling? And they came out wearing our shirts. I got it on video, and it's pretty freaking sweet, man. Pretty sweet. You know what's pretty sweet, too? Shout out to Kevin Matthews, who worked AEW Dark. They were in Jersey this week, and he got to work a dark match. And I don't know who he teamed up with, but they took on the Acclaimed. And Kevin Matthews does have a history with the Acclaimed. So it was pretty cool to see that match go down. So how's everybody doing tonight? Not a whole lot going on in the world of pro wrestling. The keyboard is showing. I try to make everything like perfect. All right. That'll have to do for now. You know, somebody, I know they meant well. Somebody made a little graphic for me to like, hey, DT, in case you want something a little bit plainer with a little bit of like special effects attached to it, you know, it's not what I want. But they're getting there. I think if you remove the head, I think if you off with the head and maybe spicing it up a little bit, you might be onto something. Roger Rubio, thank you very much, my friend. Yeah, it is my dad's birthday. 73 today. He is in Florida with my mom. They are having a very nice time. They are being careful. And yes, everyone, if you enjoyed tonight's show, please smash that like button. If you notice, I haven't been mentioning like, subscribe, share in many shows. I figure I shouldn't have to say it, but it would definitely help. It really does. Let me tell you something. A lot of you don't know behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to show you next week. There is 2 different podcasters out there that are trying to screw with my channel. I don't know if they think they're trying to sabotage it, but I know the more momentum that we get, you know, the more you see people trying to start stuff. I will show you some screenshots next week behind the scenes of what some people with, to be honest with you, bigger channels than me. And I guess they feel so threatened that they're trying to screw with my channel. It's all good. I take it as flattery, man. We are officially in my 25th year doing this. You think that I feel threatened about anybody out there? The only person I feel threatened about is myself. If I don't take care of yours truly, I won't be around. Can you imagine me doing 50 years of this stuff? Yeah, how you doing, everybody? Phil with the fucking run-in. See, you're ruining my fun here. I'm dropping water all over the place because I got like a old man nervous. Get off my screen, Riddle. Thank you. I know I shouldn't be making fun of stuff. Look, I fucked up my notes. My notes are all wet now. All because of Phil. Kidding. You know, I'm not kidding about the water, but that's my fault. Yeah, we'll talk about Samoa Joe. Tonight, Q&A with yours truly, live stream. It's all about you. And I have an announcement to make about a little change with the shows. I guess I might as well throw it out there right now. Some people may not be happy about it, but, you know, with the fact that we're doing so many shows during each week now, we have to really, you know, make each show mean something. And one thing that I've thought about for a while now is, you know, I don't want Thursday and Sunday to be similar. I mean, Sunday, yes, there's going to be days where we don't take many calls and we just do live chat. Last Sunday was epic. The amount of convo that you and I had last Sunday was amazing. It was amazing. We didn't take calls. But, you know, I have channel memberships here. And the reason why I have channel memberships is, number one, you know, contests cost money, servers cost money, bandwidth costs money. Yes, I have to deal with Blue Wire. But, you know, if people out there are going to be so kind to be a channel member here, even if it is only $1.99, you know, you got to give them things, you know, for being a member of the channel. Emojis are cool. And yes, bigger and better podcasts out there could get away with just giving you an emoji, just giving you custom emojis, and that's it. You're good to go. No, I feel that I got to give you too much. I got to be like these restaurants where you pay money, but then they give you everything. So I thought about this, and this was the idea of a lot of channel members out there. I asked about 20 of my 60 channel members, and I said, you know, what would you like added as a membership here on YouTube? What would you like added? You know, retro audio, I'm working on. I'm working on the retro audio, but there's got to be something else. And they said, you know, what happened to the Q&As? But a lot of them don't want to have to type. They want to chat. They want to hang out. You know, on a certain evening. There's nothing going on. There's so much bullshit in the world. You don't want to have me pre-recorded in advance. You want to hang out live. So, Devin M is one of them. Shout out to you, my friend. 1 year. 1 year already, my friend. So here's the deal. Here's the announcement. Stop beating around the bush, Don Tony. Going forward, Thursday's Q&A live stream, just the live stream, is going to be open just for the channel members. Once the live show is over, it will be online for everybody. So this way, you know, I have a one-on-one with our channel members. And, you know, look, I'm not saying that anybody needs to become a channel member. You still will be able to access the show. But when it is live on Thursdays, the stream will be available just for channel members. I know Meltzer does that, and I know a lot of other people are doing that. You know, I didn't do it because of them, but, you know, somebody asked me the other day, DT, you know, what do I get? And I'm like, yeah, well, you look at the channel. So that's the deal. So starting next Thursday, the live stream will be open for our channel members. If you become a channel member, you can hang out live. You can chat live. We may take some calls on Thursday since the audience is going to look, the audience is going to be tiny. The live audience is going to be tiny. So if you want to be part of the conversation on Thursdays, you know, then you become a channel member. But even if you don't, number one, you could still watch the show after it's over, or on Sunday. On Sunday, that's not changing. So, all right. Should I talk about some injury updates quick before we talk about Samoa Joe? And by the way, Samoa Joe's release, you know, if you tuned into my show yesterday, it should have been no surprise. Should have been no surprise. We will talk about that. I have two injury issues. Three. I consider Roman Reigns having COVID an injury. By the way, best wishes go out to Angel Garza. I don't know if Angel Garza has like really like, you know, well, let me say it like this. Angel Garza went on his Twitter and he put F with 3 asterisks and then C with 4 asterisks. So people added up the asterisks and like, fuck COVID. Ah, Angel, I got it. Fuck COVID. Wait, you got COVID. Angel Garza has COVID. So best wishes go out to Angel Garza. You know, not everybody is getting Omicron. Let's make that clear. You know, Seth Rollins got very lucky. Double vaccinated, boosted, got Omicron, was good to go in a couple of days. Matt Jackson, Brandon Cutler, I heard a little bit different. But I didn't report that yesterday, specifics of the COVID, because I don't know for sure. So just because somebody has COVID right now, don't think immediately that it's Omicron, because Omicron is starting to dominate the world. And Omicron is going to help fizzle out Delta, which is awesome, because this crap is spreading so quickly and people are getting immune so fast, and apparently you have some protection from Delta by getting Omicron. I tell you, I know this is going to sound burnt by a lot of people, but I do know people in my neighborhood that want to get Omicron. Look, if I'm just going to get the freaking sniffles, if I'm just going to have a headache for a few hours, just give me the freaking thing. Let me get Omicron. I'll have protection against Delta and everything else. I'm fully vaccinated and I'll be good to go. I'll take a day off. I'll watch TV all day. That's the mentality of a lot of people. You know what? Just give me the fucking Omicron. Twix, it's very important what type of COVID they have. It's very important because there's different strains and there's different symptoms, and some people are vaccinated and some people are not. Some people are not boosted. So there is a lot of difference. And I'll give you a good point. Let's talk about it. Roman Reigns. And if you see me writing, it's because I'm taking down timestamps. We got to keep the timestamps going. I cannot be lazy. If I get into that habit, you will not see timestamps. Roman Reigns. We talked about it on Saturday. He showed up at the building, diagnosed with COVID. Surprise to him. Absolute surprise. No issues. Couldn't work day one. Right away, blame it on WWE, blame it on this, sloppy shop, this and that. You know it had nothing to do with that. Roman Reigns was not around pro wrestling for over 2 weeks because of the holidays. But, of course, the passionate bullshit tweets outweigh everything else. We know that by now. It's not rocket science. On Monday, I talked to someone who is pretty close to some of these wrestlers, who is in the business, and I said, how's Roman doing? Any updates? His tweet sounded very promising. His tweet sounded more of procedure than anything else. If you remember Roman Reigns' tweet, protocol will not let me compete. Not, I can't compete. He said protocols will not let me compete. Sounded very promising. And I was told that it was almost identical of what happened with Seth Rollins. Got tested, surprise to him, felt great. They waited 3 days. He tested negative 2 days in a row. And I said on Monday, do not be surprised. Casey is raw. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the family. Channel member. Much love, my friend. Casey is saying to me, be careful about the virus talk and the shot. People are getting strikes on YouTube. I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm not giving any medical advice at all. I'm not giving, Delta and Omicron are two different strains. There's nothing that I said. Trust me, don't worry about it. But Roman Reigns, on Monday I said, I got a positive health update that Roman Reigns feels great. And do not be surprised if he's on this Friday SmackDown. What are you, nuts? What are you, stupid? What's wrong? What you're just talking out of your ass. He's immunocompromised. He used to have leukemia. How could you say that? And Monday was only 2 days after he tested positive. Well, guess what, everybody? WWE made an announcement today. Roman Reigns is good to go. He is cleared. He will be on SmackDown Friday, and the confrontation with he and Brock Lesnar will take place. See, like I said, I got to remind people out there, I'm not a news reporter. I used to report news, and I stopped reporting news about 13 years ago, 10 years ago, around there, because if I'm going to do the news for you, reporting, I got to go 110% or I don't go at all. I didn't want to just pick and choose little news reports. That doesn't mean I don't have friends or connections in the wrestling world. I pick and choose when I want to know something. I don't lie to anybody out there. If I tell you that I talk to someone who I trust or someone that is in the business or somebody that works for some, I'm not lying to. There's no reason. You think I'm doing it to get laid? Hey, everybody, I know wrestling connection. You think I'm Chris Cash that used to walk around in schools with his telephone. Hey, look, I got Steve Austin on speed dial. Blow me. That doesn't impress me. Doesn't impress me. My family, my personal stuff, my fiance, seeing good test results. See, at my age, shit like that impresses me. Not bragging, but I told everybody Monday, Roman Reigns is doing great. Stop with this controversy shit. Wish him well. And if everything works out, he'll be back by Friday. He is back. Did I say anything incorrect? No. So good to go. Glad that he is back. Glad he is back. Now, Rey Fenix and an injury that takes place on Rampage. My live friends in the chat room right now, do you want me to bring up the injury that happened on Rampage? If the majority says yes, I will not give the match spoiler, but I will tell you what happened. You let me know, chat room, if you want me to mention. If you don't want me to mention the injury, I won't. I will bring it up on Saturday. But I will tell everyone first that Rey Fenix posted an update. If you remember my show yesterday, I said the best case scenario is that he has a dislocated elbow. Remember what I said yesterday? I said that looked like a broken arm. It reminded me so much of Susie Spirit. One fall, that is such a vague response. No spoilers. I'm not giving the spoiler of the match result. I'm saying, should I bring up the injury? That is a yes or no question. Yes or no. Should I? All right, let's keep it simple, everyone. Not sure. Yes or no. Should I? Not cool. Yes or no. Should I mention the injury? All right. Okay. Majority of people say it. You know what I'll do? I will tell everyone, if you don't want to hear it, then mute your computer for 20 seconds. I'll give you a warning. Anyway, Rey Fenix. Yesterday I had that table spot. As I said yesterday, no one is to blame. I felt bad because after my show was over yesterday, I went on social media to see any updates. And I saw Luchasaurus. A lot of people blaming Luchasaurus. I watched the clip back. I didn't want to, but I wanted to see, did he fuck up? And I really, from what I saw, no. I mean, shit happens. Freak accidents happen. But when we talked about it yesterday, I said, if this guy escapes a broken arm, best case scenario, dislocated elbow. Sure enough, we find out today, dislocated elbow. That is unbelievable that he did not break his arm to the point where the bone could have been out. That was brutal. It is brutal. It's still uncomfortable to watch. I don't like. I can't even watch when Alexa Bliss does that with her arm and shit like that. So anyway, by the way, a majority of everybody said yes. I think actually, I got close to a yes from one fall. He said okay. So I'll tell everybody in a moment. But first, Rey Fenix posted a little update. I want to share it to you. Now, originally he wrote it in Spanish, and everybody was too lazy, including me. Nobody wanted to translate. What did you say? I don't understand. English. Speak English. So anyway, Rey Fenix, I guess, went on Google Translate and translated it. And this is what Rey Fenix had to say. I want to thank, and I'm going to read it exactly how he wrote it. I want to thank each and every one of you for so much love, for your prayers, good vibes, for your messages. Thank you very much for being concerned about me. I feel very blessed to have all of you. Fans, colleagues, my friends, my family, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oops. No good. There is no fault. It is wrestling, and these are the risks. Today, I could tell you that I feel better and that, thank God, your prayers are good vibes. There are no broken bones. You still have to visit the doctor a couple of more times and do some studies to have an exact diagnosis. I love this sport so much that it has changed my life and mine, that when I am in the ring or put on my mask, everything goes away. There are no fears. There are no problems. My heart beats perfectly. Everything is fine. I feel alive. What happened last night is one of the many risks that we wrestlers take before getting into a ring and doing what we love so much. Thank you very much once again to all, and congratulations to the champions. Enjoy and defend those titles, because very soon I am back and those championships belong to the Lucha Brothers. I respect. Thank you all. I love you. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Best news we could have asked for. Tell you think of like injuries, good news for Roman, good news for Rey Fenix. Still, he's got a long ways ahead. But man, that guy, that was brutal to watch yesterday. So very, very happy that he's better. All right. Now, if you don't want to hear the injury that happened on Rampage, when I say now, you can mute it for about 20 seconds. I'm not going to get into it long. I'm not going to give any match spoilers. Or you know what you can do? You can mute it. And when I go like this, then you can unmute it. All right. So I'm going to take a slug. Mute your speaker now. Jake Atlas injured his knee during his match with Adam Cole. The injury was so bad that he could not finish the match. Somebody emailed it to me and said he wasn't unable to finish the match, and he was holding his knee after he flew into a Cole super kick and landed awkwardly. So they changed the finish because Atlas couldn't stand up. So Jake Atlas, we don't know the extent of his knee injury, but the fact that, he couldn't even, I should say it like this, they couldn't complete the match the way they wanted to. There is an outcome in this match, but the finish was changed so Jake Atlas could, finish it in a different way. So, all right. Now you can unmute it. So best wishes to the wrestler that was injured on Friday. Don't type his name in the chat. We don't, and I guarantee you some people may rather not see it. I'm curious if they will add a match, though. Don't know. So, want to get into a couple of super chats, and then we will talk about Samoa Joe, because I have a few things to say about that. Some of it may surprise some of you out there. I'm a little bit pissed off. I mean, like I said, even though we understand why these things are happening, and why they're not things are not happening, that doesn't mean that we have to like it. So anyway, let me get into a couple of super chats. One has to do with WWE and Saudi Arabia. I do have some information there. Oh, and by the way, I want to give a shout out to David Pixon Stan. Oh, what's his name? I always mix up his name because people used to always, there's a few people out there that would always tell me, oh, this person's an asshole. This person is shady. This person said shit about you. This person I don't trust. This person is garbage. This person is a snake. This person, backstabber, this and that. Bixenspan, I believe his name is. David Bixenspan, right? Nobody even had to tell me. It just, I used to throw shade towards that guy. And, about maybe 3 months ago on one of my episodes, I apologized to a whole bunch of people out there. It's obvious that there's some people out there that like to see wars between people and like to see just hate. And I'm starting to realize that a lot of people out there who I've always been programmed to be like, shady or this and that are not the case at all. And unfortunately, we have people that are fans of the shows, but they miss the old Don Tony. So they almost, try to finagle me into having wars with people. Happened with Andrew Zarian a couple of weeks ago. Somebody mixed his name with someone else, and right away I think it's this guy, but they're actually talking about Andrew. And Andrew is the one that broke the Saudi Arabia stuff today. So, if I'm going to call out someone, I will do it on my own. Like Brad Shepard, he's still a piece of shit. Out of everybody doing journalism right now, in some capacity, whether, legit or not, he's the only one that I really just, although the two podcasts out there that are trying to fuck with my YouTube channel, unsuccessfully, I might add, they're little slime bags as well, because they try to come off as, these really, really great, cool people, and these slime bags trying to mess around. It's all good. Trust me, you don't think that some of the bigger podcasts out there, from JD to Jason and others, you don't think that people try to sabotage their shit too? That comes with the territory. People told me that over 2 years ago. DT, be prepared. You're going to have trolls. You're going to have people fucking with your channel. People are going to try to do this. They're going to try to hurt your numbers. They're going to try to, my old Discord channel. I browse once in a while because I still have some friends. I still own half the Discord channel. But that channel turned into a cesspool of shit. And, I caught them. I would post the link for my next show only in that chat room. And it was unlisted. So only they're the ones that could see it. And within 5 minutes of posting the thread, there's like 5 thumbs down. And then I see who's on there because I run the fucking thing. So I could see who is on there, who's been active, and who's been viewing things. And I'm like, look at these assholes. And these are people that are supposed to be friendly with me. So let's get into a couple of super chats. Let's talk about WWE in Saudi Arabia. Walter. If you are a fan of Walter, you will love the news that I give you. You know what? I don't even want to wait. Walter appears to be WWE bound. I know what you're going to say. Well, he's on NXT UK, which is a part of WWE. Walter next week is going to have a match against, who is he fighting next week? Well, anyway, Walter posted a video quote today. Walter said, and I saw the video, ever since I arrived in NXT UK, it was in January 2019, I dominated this brand. I always preached what's important to me. Marcel and Fabian, the mat is sacred to us. And for a historic title reign of 870 days, I brought back glory, respect, and dignity to the sport. But now the time has come. It's my last match in NXT UK, at least for now, and my opponent will be Nathan Frazier. I've been told all the great things about you. You're high-flying, you're up-and-coming, very talented, you're the future of this brand. But let me tell you this, I am not impressed with any of that because, like everybody else, you're in this for yourself, and you've taken the absolute piss out of this great sport. You will learn one thing, it will never change. When the ring general steps in the ring, he will come out victorious because for me, the mat is sacred. It appears Fraser. I say Fraser. It's not Fraser Kane. Fraser. Yeah, Fraser. Anyway, Walter appears to be coming to the United States and staying here for an extended period of time. The question is, will he be in NXT, US, or will he go to Raw or SmackDown? That is the big question. I honestly don't know. Because I ask you, in fact, this is not a ploy to get you to post a comment. I would love for all of you. You can do it in the chat room now after the show is over. Post in the comment section. Where would you like to see Walter end up? Raw, SmackDown, or NXT? Because you put him on Raw, that is a fascinating dynamic. Brock Lesnar and Walter, Big E and Walter, Kevin Owens and Walter. I mean, can you just imagine the chops? I mean, there's going to be slow-mos. You just picture. Oh, please, God. Oh, my God. I just realized it. Look at it. You saw I cried on New Year's Eve when I showed the video of my parents. That was legit. That was legit tears. I will cry 10 times harder if we get Walter and Reggie in the ring together. If Walter chops Reggie, you know how Reggie uses the old Kalisto thing or Sincata that flies in the ring? I seriously, if this motherfucker is that talented with the Cirque du Soleil, I want Walter to chop him, and I want it to look like special effects. I want Reggie to go backwards and fly backwards back into catering. Walter chopping Reggie. Tear to my eye. And Johnny Knoxville, sure. Chop that jackass, Johnny Knoxville. Prick. But would they push Walter to the top on Raw? I don't know, man. I'm not so sure about that. SmackDown. Could he feud with Roman Reigns? Jesus Christ. I know a lot of us would love that. But do we really think that Walter could overtake Roman Reigns? I don't know about that either. Yeah, I think Walter versus Cesaro would be awesome, and Sami Zayn and a few others. But then I think NXT. Would they have Walter feud with Braun Breaker this early in Breaker's career? Wow, there is an interesting dynamic there. I don't think you take Imperium off of NXT right now. We talked about it yesterday. You know, as much as people say, oh, I missed the Black and Gold. Yeah, 700,000 viewers with what? $50 million in NXT expense with almost no money coming back in. People haven't realized what has changed in NXT the last couple of years. You got the Ring of Honor internet darlings that infiltrated NXT, and they did a great job for a couple of years. And they were MVPs, loved the brand. I got so many collectibles. Every day that goes by, I say to myself, you know, this actually has a little bit more special meaning. And this is only one of many collectibles that I have. It's like every couple of days, I'm like, okay, this person is gone too. And this person is gone. Soon everybody will be gone. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. You look at 2010, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2016, Sasha, Bailey, Charlotte, Asuka, Usos, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, exception to the rule. Seth Rollins, Ring of Honor. But for the most part, these are homegrown created stars that WWE has made. And for the last bunch of years, you've had a lot of evolve that would only draw 200 people. You would have the Ring of Honor of the last 6 years that would draw 10 rows of people. You would have these amazing wrestlers, and then you realize that it's this chunk of the entire wrestling audience that pays attention to them. Oh my God, let's get somebody from Impact. You know, the 80,000 viewer man. And then you bring in all these extra trainers. Oh my God, they're killing Triple H's legacy. Look, the cool one today, Shawn Michaels. Oh, he shows up at NXT today, and that's that infamous gif of Will Smith from The Fresh Prince when he walks into the house and there's no furniture or anything. He just walks around and he's like, Matt Bloom, Sarah Del Rey, Shawn Michaels, Norman Smiley, Terry Taylor, Robbie Brookside, Steve Corino, Fit Finley, Johnny Moss, and a few others. You know what they all have in common? They all have been there for the last 7 years. Triple H started NXT. Obviously, anybody that is going to get fired from NXT is someone that was under Triple H. What do you think, under Shane? Tell me who in NXT could be fired that was under Shane. Tell me who from NXT that could be fired that was under Stephanie. Tell me who from NXT that would be fired under Bruce. There is nobody. It's all about drama. Drama sells right now. It sells in politics. It sells in gossip. It sells in the news world. It sells in entertainment world. It sells in reality TV shows. It sells in wrestling. All these people, if you just take a step back and just think about what's going on, and then you realize, wait a minute, Triple H fucking started NXT in 2010. Of course anybody that gets fired is under his reign. I just gave you all those trainers that were there in 2014. They're still there. You know what's happening now? Simple. Very simple. We're in a pandemic still. We're in a recession. NXT is not competing in little gyms. NXT's not doing house shows. They're not touring. They're staying in the Capitol Wrestling Center. You're not going to have extra trainers, extra wrestlers, where you can't do all this stuff. WWE is a corporate business, a billion-dollar business. They're not going to squander any more 10, 20, 30, 40 million dollars because we feel that nobody should be fired. You see what happens? We've been talking about it. Somebody says something stupid online, and then you say it's the same thing over and over and over again, and people believe it. Or people use it as the reason to say, fuck you, WWE. I don't like these releases. William Regal gets under my skin because William Regal, it's mind-boggling how much this man has done. That's why I wonder if there's more to this story that we don't know. I don't know. If we find out WWE just decided, Regal, that's, it's been great, I'd be pissed off. Because the amount of additional work that he has done, WWE owes nothing to nobody. But William Regal being let go is mind-boggling to me. But again, when people use this crap, that, oh, look, they're taking away everything that Triple H built. I read you a quote yesterday that's not even 5 years old. I'm sorry, should I read it again? I'm going to read, because there were other things that he said too that I didn't even read yesterday. But I want to just read this one tiny little part. I know this is acid to a lot of people's ears because people don't want to know the truth. As long as they don't know the truth, then they can use the bullshit as an excuse to keep saying it. Triple H said this less than 5 years ago to ESPN. NXT will be constantly fresh, like college football. You get a new team every few years. There are somewhere between 70 and 100 talents, men and women, down in the Performance Center that I feel all have the ability to be WWE superstars. If they don't, then we let them go. But we all feel that they have something to offer. It's about cultivating those talents and bringing them up at the right time. NXT was never designed for someone to make a career and stay in NXT. Even if Johnny Gargano decides he wants to come back. Logic. Why would you want to keep people as lifers in a developmental area? I'm not saying anything that's incorrect. I know it's boring and I know it's not sexy, but let's use logic for a little bit. Oh, here's another little quote that he said that I didn't read yesterday. At the end of the day, that's what really the Performance Center and NXT is all about. Giving them the tools and the platform so they could go out there and live or die, succeed or fail on their own. the last couple of years, they took their eye off of what NXT was supposed to be. The NXT that gave us the Wyatt family, the NXT that gave us the Usos, the NXT that gave us the Four Horsewomen, the NXT that gave us all the amazing talents that are on the main roster now. Do you ever take note that the wrestlers, a lot of them that were gone, never even made it to the main roster? And yes, Cross and Lee, it sucks. I still wonder if there was more medical stuff behind Lee's release. But the point is, you see all these names that people keep bringing up. Thatcher, I fucking love Thatcher. But the majority of wrestling fans didn't give two shits about Thatcher. He's not a sports entertainer. That's what WWE fans tune in for. There is no one-stop shop wrestling. It's not Tony Khan's version of it. It's not Ring of Honor's version of it. It's not Lucha Underground's version of it. It's not MLW, Impact Wrestling, WWE, or anything else. WWE happens to be the biggest one, but it's not one-stop shop. You look at all the wrestlers that AEW signs, and a lot of them fit almost a certain similar profile of themselves. And I'm not talking about skin color. You see the profile, you see the age, you see the demographic, you see the relationship status, you see the gaming, you see this. There is a certain profile that may not fit with WWE. Let's not also forget, there's a lot of people that are battling mental health. And there's a lot of people that over the last 20 years have been primed to be fragile. Fragile. I mean, when I grew up, and when a lot of you grew up, there was something called thick skin. You don't justify somebody being an asshole to you like, oh, that's thick skin. No, I don't condone it at all. But these days, you criticize somebody's wrestling ability, and they immediately think that it's a color thing. They immediately think that it's because it's a girl. They immediately think that it's because of someone's gender, sexual preference, or they think it's because of this, or because I don't fit this, or because I don't look like this, or I'm too small, or I'm too big. My ass is this big, my ass is this small. Everybody has this complex that you give even a little criticism. You know how many people out there are so freaking afraid to criticize wrestlers, podcast writers, because they know that there is an army of people sitting there waiting to rip them a freaking part. There's a lot of fragile people out there that have been brought up to be very, very fragile. And you look, if I was WWE, a billion-dollar company, that my main goal is to have every wrestler that comes to our company show up on WrestleMania, make us crazy money, make us crazy merch, make us crazy money on Raw and on SmackDown, tour the world, tour to Saudi Arabia, tour here, tour there, and then you get people doing interviews. Oh, I don't want to go to the main roster. Oh, no. If I'm forced to go to the main roster, just retire. Putting personal stuff aside, everybody, if I was WWE, get the fuck out of my promotion. Get out of my company. No. I want to work mailroom. You go for an office job. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? If I end up in the mailroom or janitor, it's good enough for me. Everybody wants to get ahead. That's what you want in your company. Not people that, oh no, I don't want to travel more than 5 miles. I need to sleep in my bed every night. Now, if you're a veteran in wrestling and you need a little bit of a break physically, mentally, like Miro and others, they've earned it. They have every right to take that. There are people out there that do next to nothing, that are so fragile. I mean, can you imagine what, for any of you out there that were not wrestling fans in 2000, 2001, can you imagine what wrestling social media would have been like when Buff Bagwell's mom calls WWE I don't want my son to do this. I'm just generalizing it. You imagine what would happen on social media with stuff like that? And that was in 2001. Could you imagine how many people that are like that now? Sorry, I don't want those people. I do shows. I do, want to do it with other people. I want people like Mish and others who work their freaking asses off, that always want to be hands-on, that always want to do everything themselves. One of the things that I learned from my dad is that you want to do something right, you do it yourself. There are so many people out there that have to have other people do everything for them, or it's not done. You want people like that? Yeah, Herbert Doherty says it right. WWE is an employer, not an employment agency. So I'm not defending WWE in these releases, and obviously we're leading up to Samoa Joe right now. Yesterday when we talked about our discussion, and I'm not going to repeat anything else from last night, but last night when we had that discussion, and we said point blank, there are going to be more releases. Now, yesterday, I did not bring up the Road Dogg because, believe it or not, early on, people were reporting the Road Dogg was released. Then some people reported that it's not official yet. I reached out to two people that I'm friendly with, and I had not gotten a response right before the show. So I said, okay, you know what? Hashtag, I don't want to be first. I want to be right. My motto since 97. I said, okay, I'll hold off on Road Dogg. And since I'm doing a show today, if Road Dogg ends up being one of the casualties, I'll bring it up today. So Road Dogg was, in fact, released as well. Again, when I read you the list of trainers, do you see a little trend the last 24 hours? Scott Armstrong might be the only one, other than Alice in Danger. But again, in my opinion, they should have never hired Alice in Danger during this pandemic. I don't know if I'm not defending WWE. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have hired her, that she wasn't good. What I'm saying is that WWE had so many people in that performance center training. What are you going to do right now? NXT's not touring. They're not doing house shows. They're not. What do you do with all these people? You give them these NIL contracts. Hey, look, when the pandemic is all, no. I mean, unfortunately, pandemic, this is what happens. This is what happens in a recession also. So I'm baffled why WWE, the only thing I could think of is maybe they thought by now the pandemic would be over. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. I don't work for them. But if you look at a lot of the releases from Road Dogg to Ryan Katz, Smiley, and you look at others that will let go, Ace Steel, you don't normally see, these are not long-time trainers. The list that I read you, when I read you the list from 2014, the only name that I left out was Scotty Tuhati. He's the only name that I left out. Serena Deeb came aboard a few years later, and obviously she was gone. But the point is, almost every trainer that was there 8 years ago is still there. There were people added. But WWE we don't need this many people. You start removing all the names that I've been reading the last 24 hours, then it's different. But when people out there, those in the know, I'm not just talking about regular wrestling fans, those in the know that are trying to sell you that they've taken away everything that Triple H has built. No, they didn't. They did not. What they did was they went back to what NXT was supposed to be. What Triple H said in that interview less than 5 years ago. They shied away from that. They built NXT around indie guys and gals that never drew huge crowds. And WWE spent a lot of time on those wrestlers, and some of them did not want to go to the main roster. Some of them, when you look at what WWE's looking for, it didn't fit the mold. There was a few exceptions, obviously. Cross is common sense. But you look at the last 3-4 years, the people that are saying, oh my God, I missed the black and gold. These are the people, mostly, that, either had no problem that NXT only had 600,000 viewers, or they were some of the people that would always put it down, or these are the ones that are in the 2-3 rows of fan. Ring of Honor for the last, 10 years, other than a WrestleMania weekend or bouncing off another promotion, have you ever taken note of how many people actually tune in live? 200 people? 300 people? Oh, we're going to Vegas. 600 people? That is a goddamn success. That's what WWE wants to build around. They brought in people from Evolve. Was Evolve breaking the doors down with attendance? Have you ever seen an Evolve show? The wrestling is amazing. Well, why the fuck does it only draw 60? So we may think some people are amazing and some people are incredible, and they are. Gabe Sapolsky, they let him go. They brought Gabe Sapolsky on with, everything that happened with Evolve and everything like that. And you look at Gabe Sapolsky. Gabe Sapolsky, I used to criticize to death. Gabe Sapolsky's done a hell of a lot of good for pro wrestling. But you're taking Gabe Sapolsky out of his element, out of Ring of Honor, that years ago, on a good day, might draw 1,000 people. Oh my God, it's unbelievable, 1,000. You imagine if WWE only drew 1,000 people? You put him in Evolve. He does a great job developing these wrestlers. Amazing talent. Did anybody ever stop to say, why does Evolve only draw 100 people? You're taking people out of the indie element that have never proven to build people that could be these insanely large. Look at Seth Rollins. They had to make the Shield and then the Authority stuff and do this. They had to totally transform some of what he does. Daniel Bryan, fans fell in love with him. He fell in love with him. Some very special people like CM Punk and a few others, they were trapped in a small, indie wrestling world. But when you look at all the people that were let go, it's the pandemic, stupid. It's the economy, stupid. It's a recession, stupid. It's because NXT can't tour house shows, stupid. They only have 2 hours of TV once a week, stupid. They can't go to Jacksonville. They can't go to Sanford. They can't go to a little school. When I used to bring up Omos, everybody's like, I don't remember seeing Omos on NXT TV. I don't remember seeing him in this and that. And then you show people house shows. Oh, I had no idea NXT did house shows. Where do you think they came from? Do you think they planted them in the ground, threw some water on it, and suddenly Omos, he just grew from the ground? They're not doing any of this stuff right now. But that's not popular. It's not sexy. It doesn't have drama. So everybody ignores it and walks away from it. Why do you think so many writers in wrestling have ignored that aspect also? Because it's not sexy. You see the last 24 hours, all of the garbage, bottom-feeding websites are the ones that are suddenly saying, oh, they're taking away Triple H's toys. The fuck you talking about? Triple H is the one that ran NXT since 2010. Anybody that ever gets let go from NXT is under Triple H's helm. There's nothing different with that. Triple H said in the interview less than 5 years ago, it's constantly new team every few years. You heard it out of his mouth, and people still refuse to acknowledge that because they've created a lie. It is a passionate lie. It is an emotional lie. It is a lie where everybody wants to use that as a reason to put WWE down. and they want to embrace Tony Khan and other feds because they're more fan-friendly. They're more hands-on. You ever see Vince McMahon tweeting? You ever see Vince McMahon doing scrums? Why do you think Triple H stopped doing scrums before even the heart issues? And then finally, he would do a scrum once in a while, and then you get a piece of shit like Mike Johnson that goes on there and tries to do gotcha stuff with the weapons on the cage, and people are laughing at him. Remember that audio clip? People, not just Triple H, the whole room was laughing at Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson thought that they were going to make a statue, that the internet was going to make a statue of him after his gotcha question to Triple H. Mike Johnson represents everybody out there that is building this false narrative that Shawn Michaels walks in and there's nobody there to train the NXT stars. I just gave you the list of people that have been there for 8 years and more, and everybody ignores it. Mike Johnson, with that confrontation with Triple H, he is the poster child of what you see going on social media. So Samoa Joe, it sucks, man. It sucks. He got released right after Mania, and I posted it. The last thing we saw of Samoa Joe was wearing a poncho. Remember his face in the rain? They brought him back. Awesome. They give him the NXT Heavyweight Championship. Interesting. He was the enforcer for William Regal. Okay. And what happened? What happened? I brought it up 10 times when Samoa Joe was on TV. Samoa Joe's interacting with Adam Cole. Samoa Joe is interacting with Johnny Gargano. Samoa Joe is interacting with Karrion Kross. Samoa Joe is interacting with Pete Dunne. These are wrestlers, with the exception of Kross, these are wrestlers that have been there for years that are not being developed to become the big giant stars on Raw and SmackDown of tomorrow, because that's what NXT is. Why is Samoa Joe there? Why isn't Samoa Joe going up against the wrestlers that they want to build for tomorrow? He drops the title, and just like Ciampa, we talked about it with the day one recap. I don't know what's next for Ciampa. I'm a little concerned because where does he fit in? You look at OVW. I always bring up OVW because OVW brought us larger-than-life stars. And it was just Danny Davis, Al Snow, and Jim Cornette. For pretty much it. Now you go and you look at the OVW results from that time. Did you see all of these other veteran indie guys all around there? No. NXT, AEW is part of that reason. It's not AEW's fault. WWE having NXT on the same night as AEW, people online forced the war. They forced the Wednesday Night War. And as a result, you remember when I used to say it's not fair for the wrestlers that are trying to become stars, that they have all this added pressure put on themselves in NXT. Now they got to compete and a lot of eyes are on them, and they can't, if they screw up, it's magnified with these Twitter accounts, and then it gets compared to AEW and this and that. Remember when we used to have those conversations? For over 2 years, I said NXT's got to go back to its roots. Nobody wants to see a developmental NXT. Nobody wants to see a green Von Wagner, a green Lash legend. You look at that. Believe me, some wrestlers you see on TV that are stars started out that way. Horrendous. Unfortunately, there are no house shows where Lash Legend could wrestle in front of 60 people that is not televised on TV. Unfortunately, we don't have any of that stuff right now. So everybody is extra under a microscope, and you have a lot of people online that refuse to accept the fact that WWE went back to its roots, WWE went back to doing what they did in Heartland, what they did in Florida Championship Wrestling, what they did in OVW, what they did years ago. It's just today, people created a lie, and now they got to stand on that mountain. And there's nothing that I said tonight that is incorrect. I'm begging someone to challenge me on this. Not challenge me just so I could shout you out, but nothing I said is wrong. It's just, it's not a popular stance to take. It sucks. You saw the latest trainees that were signed. Remember that tryout that Roxy had and a few others? You look at the panel. A lot of people that were on that panel are now let go. Is it just, we don't need anybody else right now? We're still in a pandemic, a recession. We can't do this. We can't do that. We don't need these people right now. There's always, here's the other problem. There's always someone out there that will take the risk. Petey Williams just got hired to work as a producer. Now, Petey Williams, look, I don't know how it's going to turn out. If Petey Williams gets let go after a couple of months, you know you're going to see a ton of people online. The fucking guy just started there. He just started there. And you let him go? You didn't even give him a chance to show what he... Instead of, could you sign with them? Are you stupid? You don't see what's going on? If you get let go, you deserve it. Oh, because nobody has the balls to do that. Why do people keep signing? Because people out there know what they're getting into. Again, until investors start questioning this stuff, I'm not going to take loudmouths. I'm not going to take clickbaiters. I'm not going to take people out there that are just looking to get hits and attention on social media because that's the only place that they feel famous or they feel that they have some value. And that is fucking insane to think about. There are people out there that do that. Alice in Danger. I saw somebody write today, oh my God, Alice in Danger. They let her go the same day that a kid's first day of kindergarten. Could you imagine Allison dropping her kid off at kindergarten and she gets released the same day? WWE, you have no morals? And I'm saying to myself, the fuck? Johnny Ace is supposed to call every employee, hey, what's going on? I can't do my Johnny Ace. I got to hear him first. You know, hey, how's the family? Yeah, well, no, we're just hanging around watching TV. Oh, okay, good. You're fired. Oh, he calls them up. Hey, Allison, how's everything going? Oh, yeah, good. My kid, you know, it's the first day of school. And you think John is like, hey, Allison, just hold on a second. Motherfucker, she's got all this family stuff. It's going to make us look like shit, Vince. What are we supposed to do? Allison, can I call you back? Just think about stuff like this. I'm not defending WWE. You see what's going on online. Take note that almost everybody that does this has no job, has no business, doesn't have something for themselves. Oh, and I want to give a gigantic thank you to Tommy D. Shout out to DT, 100 spot. A little something for keeping a level head about all the releases. They stink. Oh, they stink. No question. But you running a business shows through and through with your words. And you were right about Roman. The tribal chief returns Friday night. Happy New Year, DT and family. Thank you for that, Tommy. Thank you. I mean, I'm not doing it to get hits. I'm not doing it to get likes. I'm not doing it to get views. If you want to tune in, fine. But I feel like I got to owe it to you to tell you straight up what's going on. WWE is a cutthroat business. It is a billion-dollar company. It is an entertainment company. If these contracts are not worth the paper that they're on, why do the wrestlers keep signing it? A lot of these wrestlers have agents. You see Bray Wyatt released, Braun Strowman released, other people released. and you want to get in touch with them, whether you want to do an interview, whether you want to give them a hand job, whether you want to sign for an indie wrestling event, what do you see on their profiles? If you're interested in booking me, contact my agent. The fucking agents that are negotiating the deals with WWE are signing the deals. When was the last time you had a wrestler that say, tell my agent, have me sign? If it's that crap, why do people keep signing it? See, you realize this, but people out there won't ask that question because it goes against WWE. They sign people, and I've never heard of a business where they sign someone and then they could just fire them whenever they want and give them 30 days, 60 days, 90 days of this and that, blah, 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 blah. Andrew Yang talks out of his ass. Andrew Yang did shit for wrestling. Nobody. How come the labor lords are not going after Vince? Vince is an evil person. Vince supports Trump. How come they're not going after his ass for all of this stuff? You mean to tell me that there's not one person out there that just has nothing better to do during the pandemic? So, let me finally fuck with Vince McMahon. I have the whole internet loving me for it. Nobody is doing anything. That doesn't tell you something? Do you just sit there and just make rants and say things and it sounds good and it feels good and that makes it true? That is awful. That is ridiculous. It sucks William Regal is gone. It sucks Samoa Joe is gone. Believe it or not, Smiley, Ryan Katz out of all of them, with the promos and everything else, that guy is going to be really difficult to replace. Trust me, in the early days when XPW was on the Northeast and I got to spend some time around that guy, there's something about that guy that was freaking special, charismatic, and he loves wrestling. You think he was getting paid crazy money? They can afford him. But we got to also understand why this is happening. This is not to give Triple H another coronary, to give him a heart attack. Triple H has been there since the 90s. Vince McMahon is his father-in-law. People make it sound like when Triple H goes home at night, he sleeps in the doghouse and Stephanie sleeps in the king-size bed. Or when they come around the holidays, hey, Vince. Based on what? Based on what people want to turn it into drama. People want to see people drama. They want to see Triple H. People want to see Triple H walk out on Stephanie. People want to see Triple H say, you know what, fuck you, Dad. I'm going to go start my own thing. They want him and Shane to join up with Tony Khan and start this renegade. Based on what? This is freaking fantasy. That's soap opera stuff. It is insane. Could it happen? Sure, it could always happen. But people out there, it sounds so it's like the ultimate storyline. Why are we wrestling fans? Because we get invested in the storylines and we get invested in the quality of wrestling we watch on the TV. Everybody freaking loves Braun Breaker right now. Braun Breaker, is he this most polished wrestler? No. But there's a lot of things about him. And check this out. I don't know if you saw this. Totally missed it. That is Braun Breaker's boots from New Year's Evil. Those were his dad's boots. Pretty cool. Remember? Bite Me. That's from when Rick Steiner was a heel in WCW. So, again, these releases suck. But people that have been paying attention knew this was happening. It started 2 years ago. It started during the pandemic. This is an entertainment company. This is not a feel-good company. This is not a company where you keep 10, 20, 50, 100 people extra on the payroll because it's the right thing to do. If you were an investor and you put stock in any type of business, I'll give you a good one. You got a friend. Hey, I'm going to start this little diner. You want to get in on it a little bit, because I need money. Could you lend me $10,000? I promise you, you'll get double in return and this and that. So you give him $10,000. I give him $10,000. We all give him money and the diner's doing good. Hey, I like my money. Look, we're going to, build a little bit more, expand a little bit. You want to keep the money in there and I'll triple it. Just give me a little time. And we all invest a little bit of money in the cut. And then what happens? COVID starts, pandemic starts, recession starts getting higher. And then one night we're feeling good. We don't think we're going to get COVID. Hey, honey. Hey, Joey, let's go check out Wally's restaurant. Let's go have a burger tonight. Let's go eat some steak, whatever it is. You walk into the place and there's 35 waiters and waitresses and 7 cooks. And there's about 50 people in the restaurant. And you have money invested in this diner and you're looking around and there's people just sitting around in their catering that are doing nothing. And you go to your friend and you're like, Wally, why you have all these people working here? There's only like 50 people in the restaurant. We got a pandemic. We're in the middle of why you have all these? Because it's the right thing to do. People laugh out of the fucking building because we're in a pandemic, and I feel bad letting these people go. Tony Khan's kosher hot dogs down the restaurant didn't let anybody go. Well, that's fine. It's because Tony Khan doesn't have other investors, so Tony Khan could do whatever he wants with his money in his restaurant. You start taking money from other people and you get this happening, you're an entertainment company. And you can't film. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You walk in there. Seriously, I want all of you. Send me money. I give you my PayPal address. Send me money. I'm going to expand the shows. I'm going to add hosts. I'm going to do this, do that, do this. And then my video screen only holds 4 boxes, but I got 19 podcast hosts with me. DT, why are you paying all these podcasters? You only can have 2 or 3 people at a time. We don't want the Minority Report back where 7 people are talking over each other. Why do you have all these people? Because there's a pandemic and it's the right thing to do. How many of you would invest in something like that? Tony Khan has no investors. He can do whatever he wants. And that is his right. He doesn't want to release people early. That is his right. He wants to buy too many. Tony Khan, you got to treat Tony Khan like a game of Monopoly. I've brought this up before. You have a game of Monopoly, and you've out there to play Monopoly. I wish some of you would play online Monopoly. I used to love playing Monopoly. I would love to kick some of your asses in Monopoly. Seriously. If any of you play Monopoly on Steam or anything like that, reach out to me because I will kick the living shit out of you in Monopoly. Tony Khan is someone who tries to buy every freaking property. He buys 2 here. He buys 2 of the yellow. He buys 2 of the orange. He buys Baltic and Mediterranean Avenue. He buys a railroad. He buys this. He's got this money. But instead of trying to complete it and start getting rent and start, building a, no. I have money left. I got to go buy CM Punk Place. Oh, no. I got to buy Jake Atlas Avenue. No. I have to buy Keith Lee, Lane. No. I got to buy. Yeah, but what about, Reading Railroad? What about this? What about that? Somebody clicks on it. You're only getting $10. They're not helping. Well, it's okay. At the end of the day, if I have to sell it, I'll sell it. But I'll wait until, it's it. You gave Monopoly. The idea is not to buy all the pieces and just buy, and then you end up with nothing, and you land on someone else's property that was smart enough just to have 3 yellows. Well, but I got 2 railroads, and I got Park Place, and I got a purple, a blue, a white, a black, an orange. Oh, I got 3 yellows, motherfucker. You owe me $1,200 for Vermont Avenue. Would you take a Joey Janela? Would you take a fuck you? No, pay me, bitch. Anyway, I hope that I answered everybody's questions and gave you my honest feelings about this. I don't like these releases. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I wish WWE would have never hired so many people in the first place. It's obvious that some of these releases were not people who were hired so they wouldn't go to AEW. Regal has been there a long time. Samoa Joe has been there for a long time. Katz, Ace Steel has been there for a little while. Scott Armstrong was there for a while. Road Dogg was there for a while. You know, these are people that were not kept so they wouldn't go to AEW. So it sucks to see so many people let go. I don't want to see anybody let go, whether it's wrestlers or trainers, because we see the news part of it. We don't see the effect that these wrestlers and trainers had on the wrestlers that you watch every day. Like Sasha Banks said, without William Regal, there is no Sasha Banks. That's not her with the overly emotional, thank you, William, tweet just to make William Regal feel good. No, she's telling you the truth. There are so many people that William Regal is probably the most influential person in their WWE life. So some of these releases, make no question, suck. But please don't use that to try to make it sound like that they're trying to get Triple H to get another heart attack. You know, that they have this vendetta against Triple H. Triple H is part of the goddamn machine for 25 years, 27 years, whatever it is. He runs NXT, and he's telling you in an ESPN interview a little over 4 years ago that this is what NXT is. That interview was done before AEW. You look at that interview, and you tell me how the Triple H of that time is not the Triple H of today. You know, in that interview, he talks about supporting the wrestlers as well. I don't know if I have the category here, the paragraph here, but he actually says that, you know, that he is like a father figure, an uncle to a lot of the wrestlers there. He is there to give them support. This was 4.5 years ago, before AEW was formed, before NXT turned into what it shouldn't have been. It turned into what it shouldn't have been. Look at ECW. ECW was hemorrhaging money, no question. But a lot of people have always said ECW was a little promotion that became too big. And basically, once it went to pay-per-view and had all these obligations and had to go here and had to go there, they couldn't keep up with it. I'm not saying that NXT was run the way ECW was, but NXT was designed to be this. And then it turned into what it's not. If WWE still had an OVW, if they still had a Florida Championship Wrestling, if they still would have had freaking Evolve, then I would be saying something totally different. NXT became Evolve. NXT became Evolve. And NXT is running under the Capitol Wrestling Center with about, 200 people in it. There's almost little to no merchandise collectibles to make money. And you have to try to create these pay-per-views and this and that. And now you're on the Peacock. So whether there's a pay-per-view or not, the TV deal's the same. Where do you make the money off of this? Oh, well, when you're developing stars of tomorrow, there's always a loss. It's an investment. You put money in cryptocurrency. Right now, you see a new cryptocurrency, douchebag dime, and you invest in it. Right now, it's not making no money, but you think 5 years down the line, that cryptocurrency is going to be worth a ton. And then you realize, wait, Adam Cole has done everything he could in NXT. And, he really is not one that wants to travel, or do all the touring across the globe. Johnny Gargano or Ciampa or some other people aren't really looking to do that. Then you got someone else with health problems, and you got someone else here and someone else there. And it's like, none of these people have been developed to be these larger-than-life, insane megastars. What the fuck did we do with some of these people the last couple of years? They shouldn't be brought onto the main roster and then try them out. And social media does not help when they put down every little thing about the person, making all these catchy thumbnails. Oh, Vince has nothing for Keith Lee. Keith Lee has been a total failure. It's a bomb and this and that. Meanwhile, he's fighting for his life in a hospital. And that spreads. It spreads like a cancer. Even the Jeff Hardy stuff. You wait when the toxicology, the drug tests come back clean. And then you realize when a reporter says Jeff was in rough shape, and Jeff's past with alcohol and drugs, and then somebody carelessly writes he was in rough shape, everybody immediately thinks that he was high. Reporters write some really horrible shit, and then they don't realize that everybody uses that and runs with it. And it ends up being wrong. Too late. 10 years from now, people will, you remember that time Jeff Hardy showed up at that house show? Man, he was fucked up and this and that. Meanwhile, it was probably mental health more than anything else. Nobody takes responsibility for their comments anymore. So you say something and it catches on, that's it. It's got a life of its own. They're trying to ruin Triple H. They're trying to make him so miserable that he quits and leaves and goes somewhere else. Based on who? Based on what? Oh, he's a goof. He's a clown. Based on what? I mean, you could go down the line with everything. Oh, Vince and Bruce, took over NXT. They're the ones writing stuff. Oh, really? Oh, really? You mean to tell me Vince didn't sign the checks? It's under World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated, or whatever the corporation is. Nothing changed. It's just people make these little catchy things that people see, it catches on. Hey, look at this narrative. It's getting all this attention. It's getting hundreds of likes. It's getting thousands of views. Well, let me make it a little bit different so it comes off as exclusive news, and there's already an audience there that's willing to buy into this shit, and everybody flocks to it. All right. Let's get into some more super chats. We'll start bringing this home because we're at 90 minutes already. We'll hang out in the chat room a little bit longer and call it. But first, Roger Rubio, thank you again for the shout out to my dad. Yeah, today's his 73rd birthday. It's so thankful that he is still here. It's amazing that it's almost a year already since he had the triple bypass. Isn't it amazing that me and my dad next month may be going for our 4th COVID shot? I got the booster in the middle of August, and they said that 5 months after, 6 months after, you should get another one. I'm going to get blood work done next week and see what my antibody level is. And if my antibodies are still really high, I'm not going for the 4th shot. But if my antibodies have gone down a little bit, I'm going to get the 4th shot. Whatever happens, happens. Yes, Philip, Samoa Joe released twice in a year. Look, you say to yourself, why did Samoa Joe come back the second time around? He knew what he was getting into. I mean, these wrestlers know what they're doing. This is their choice. People got to stop thinking that, when WWE extends their hand, that there's a buzzer in there, that they're ready to pull a prank on them. These wrestlers know, especially over the last 2 years, if they sign with WWE, they know the risk that's involved. They still take it. They still take it. If I invest in a company and their stock is plummeting, and you're like, DT, don't do it. The company's shit right now, and I invest in that company anyway, and I lose my money. Shit, I lost my money. Well, we could have told you that, but you chose to do it anyway. So that could happen to Petey Williams in the very near future. These are big boys. These are big girls. They're old enough to make their decisions. They keep going to WWE, and they keep signing these deals, and then they get let go for whatever reason. There's an old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The only way things change in WWE is if finances plummet, investors start losing confidence, and wrestlers stop accepting these deals, or wrestlers that are there negotiate, real lucrative deals or walk away. And that forces WWE's hand. It's the only way things are going to change. You look at WCW. There was never guaranteed contracts before the Monday Night Wars. There weren't guaranteed contracts before the Monday Night Wars. Obviously, the Monday Night Wars forced the wrestling promotions to offer things, creative control and others, that wrestlers should not have had. But they got it. Remember Hall and Nash on their shoot interviews? Hey, yo, I had Ted Turner sign this thing that if this wrestler gets paid more, then my salary gets boosted. Oh, Turner thought that the fake Diesel and the fake Razor Ramon was us, and we were going to go back to WWF, so they gave us more money. Whatever he said. And we all laughed at it. But meanwhile, these companies actually did these things. Bob the Builder. Wait, somebody actually did. Okay. Bob the Builder, where can you listen to old podcast episodes from 2012? Well, here's the thing, my friend. When things went south with my former co-host, the things that, were revealed and everything, I pulled all the shows off the net. I had some people sly, I'm trying to erase the history of my former co-host. No, motherfucker. I get stabbed in the back multiple times. I don't want the shows out there. I took them all offline. The problem is taking shows offline it only takes days to do it. To put them back online takes months to do. What I've been thinking of doing is creating another channel where it's just all archived episodes. See, I'm now a patron of Jim Cornette. You go on Jim Cornette's Patreon, and he's got nothing but old footage there. I don't think I would put a paywall, though. I would not want anybody. I'm not, like that. Eventually, I will put episodes online. They're not as easy as you think, especially because the audio quality is horrendous, on the older episodes. But I will be bringing them back shortly. Little by little, I'll bring some back. But, that's the fact. I mean, that's why they were taken offline. I'm not lying. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to keep a history of all those years and have somebody, get accolades. And then meanwhile, everything that happened. And there's a lot of it still that I've never put online. So I took it down. Honestly, I kind of regret taking them offline because obviously it takes my work offline as well. But that's the reason why they're offline. Rams fan sending shout out. Thank you for the super chat, Rams fan. Shout out to Benjamin, SoFly, Nero Fay, James Pasco. Nero, I think got his next chemo. Might have had it yesterday or today. So, hopefully we'll hear from Nero over the weekend. James Pasco, AS7607, Charlie Conway, Austin Nance, Lion, and he might be leaving a few out. Much love to you, my friend. Thank you again, Tommy D, for that generous gift. Thank you. I don't want to stop people from, it helps. Believe me, it all helps. Every little bit helps. But I do this because you take the time to tune into my stuff. I owe it to you to be honest and give you my opinions and not try to inflame it with emotional stuff so you're charged and everything like that. I try to be totally straight up and realistic about it. And again, nobody ever challenges me. Nobody ever challenges me. And there's a reason behind that. But I'm not in competition with anybody either. The only person I'm in competition with is myself. So, all right, a couple of more. Lincoln, the Trojan King. He has the fart so loud, he has bubble guts. Dude, I'm not kidding. I got my hands on some keto chocolate that I really have to be careful about because of, this. And I ate a bunch of it this afternoon. You did not want to be in the same house with me about 2 hours before showtime. Like I said, if you ever see me on the show with Mish and you see me just go like this, even if you don't hear something, trust me, I think you know why I did that. So, Herbert Doherty, once again, you are so spot on with your super chat. WWE is an employer, not an employment agency. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Spot on. AS7607, shout out to you. A friend just recovered from COVID, and he's been living with a 9/11 related illness for several years. He's 51 and fully vaccinated. It's rough. It's rough. I mean, a lot of people do not know this. I mean, I know some of you have seen the pictures. When the plane went down 3 blocks away from my parents' house right after 9/11, my father met with Hillary and everything like that, but my father also brought food and water for all of the first responders and everything. My father did it for troops in Iraq. I showed the newspaper articles. My father was on front page for the local paper at that time doing that. But when 9/11 hit, they all wanted to go to the city and help with first responders and send cases and that. And the only reason why they didn't go is because cops had like certain highways blocked off and, so they couldn't even get to the city. I thank God to this day that my father, my brother, and people that I know did not go to the city at that time. I know that may sound selfish, but, I see firsthand, because I live in Queens, what 9/11 did to some people that were in the city at that time. You breathe in all this toxic stuff and it ruins you. It develops over the years. That's why the 9/11 fund is still going, and it's going to go for a generation because people are still only getting sick now, and they attribute it to 9/11. It's terrible. It's terrible. OG85. Yes. Let's talk about WWE Saudi Arabia. Yes, they are coming back, everybody. February 19th. It's a very important day because that is about 6 weeks before WrestleMania. A lot of people think that WWE Crown Jewel was WWE's best pay-per-view for 2021. Did you ever think that a Saudi Arabia show could be looked at as the best show of the year, pay-per-view for WWE? I mean, that's a far cry from a couple of years ago. But that's right in the middle to the road of WrestleMania. So I don't know if they bring the Elimination Chamber to Saudi Arabia, but there is going to be some major shit going down on that card in Saudi Arabia. Andrew Zarian, props to him. He's the one that broke the story. That is a Saturday. But I believe here in the States, the United States, if the event is on a Saturday there, it might be a Friday over here. So we may be watching it Friday. I'm not sure the time zone right now, but we're going to be watching that event either that Friday or that Saturday. Just start thinking about the road to WrestleMania. Could Brock Lesnar lose the WWE Championship on that show to lead to something else with WrestleMania? Could. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We don't even know what the card is going to look like. But keep in mind, we're already at January 6th. So in a matter of 3 weeks, right after the Royal Rumble, the Saudi Arabia card is only 3 weeks after that. Little less than 3 weeks. So you got some major shit that's going to go down Royal Rumble may end up not having, other than the Rumble winners, you may not have any major changes or swerves. That may be held off for 2 extra weeks for Saudi Arabia, 3 weeks, whatever it is, and have it happen there. So the Royal Rumble this year might be more uneventful than previous Royal Rumble. Now, sure, the Royal Rumble matches, you'll still have winners, no question. But some big storyline swerves, maybe a title change, that may not happen at this year's Royal Rumble. So Saudi is 8 hours ahead of us. So you know what that means? We are definitely getting that event on Saturday. That means we will get it. Wait a minute. If they're 8 hours ahead, why does that not sound right? Because Saudi Arabia, don't they usually do their shows like around 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 4 p.m.? They have a lot of kids at those shows. If it's 8 hours ahead, if we had the Saudi event at 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, that means it would be 10 o'clock. No, it's got to be the opposite. No, so that doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. I mean, I could go look. Maybe someone in the chat room wants to look. What's the time difference, Saudi Arabia to New York? Because when we watch the Saudi Arabia events, they're usually on at like 12 o'clock. And there's no way those Saudi events are ending at 11 p.m., 12 midnight. Okay, 8 p.m. there, 12 noon our time. Okay, that sounds a little late. Wow, they had the kids going home in Saudi Arabia like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night? Shit. So if they do keep that way, then we'll probably have it around 11 a.m. or 12 noon Eastern on that Saturday. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But February 19th will be Piers, the next Saudi Arabia show. Very, very curious to see what that called. Will that be Goldberg's last match for his contract? Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Will we get Goldberg versus Roman Reigns? Shout out to Casey's Roar again. Casey, as long as you don't give medical advice and you keep the COVID discussion general, you have no issues. Trust me. I've talked about COVID crazy much since February of 2020. So, yeah, it's okay. Dynamite's rating, 1,010,000. That's up 3.6% from last week. NXT this week went up 3.5%. So small increases for both. I'm curious. Wasn't there supposed to be something about time zones in California that once they moved to TBS that this time difference in California doesn't happen anymore? Wasn't that supposed to be the case? I remember people saying that once they go to TBS, the California difference. So explain to me, where all the California talk was this week. I didn't see anybody bringing up the stuff from California. I've been watching wrestling since 79, and I've been covering ratings since I started my hotline in 97. And I could swear to you, during the whole Monday Night Wars of WCW versus WWF, I never, ever, ever, ever once, ever, when I would get ratings and I would cover it, nobody ever said, yeah, but California, time difference. Never. It was simply Raw, hour 1, 3.1, hour 2, 3.6 for a composite of 3.3.5. WCW, hour 1, 3.2, hour 2, 3.4 for a composite of 3.3. The overrun for Raw did a 3.7. La Femme Nikita will be on before Raw. Nobody ever brought up West Coast stuff. So, as I said earlier, starting next Thursday, this live stream, the Q&A, will be open to members only. It's a little something for our channel members, for being channel members. But once the live stream is over, the episode will be available for everybody. Video format, audio format, everything. So, and we're going to keep the same time slot. Earlier today, I had put up a bunch of different times for people to vote on, and it came down to 8:05 p.m. or 10:05 p.m. So when I put those head to head, almost everybody said leave it at 10:05. So next week, show will start same time as always. Bash 8, I'm not concerned about. AEW getting 1 million is a very good rating. It's a very good rating. Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson will help that. No question. It was a good show. I mean, it believe me when I tell you, not having the antics of the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa and some of the other factions just showing up and having 8 people, 12 people brawling in the ring, it's not necessary. And let me tell you something, taping Rampage the same night as Dynamite is excellent. It's excellent because I don't remember if it was Crazy Cruiserweight, but you remember about 3 months ago, he added up and I double checked it. There was 82 people on an episode of Dynamite. 82. 82. If you go back and you check out this Wednesday, one thing that was different is you didn't have the insane number of people out there. You know, you didn't have a lot of wrestlers that usually just show up at ringside when they just brawl to brawl and this and that. We didn't get all these crazy factions. You got a little bit here, a little bit there, but for the most part, the number of people out there was drastically less compared to not too long ago. So, yeah, it's they can't give us pay-per-view quality matches every single week. The rating could go back a little bit next week. You know, still, it's a decent number. It's a decent number. No question. So, I'm looking into this to get some more information. I don't really have much yet about it, but WWE made an announcement today that them, along with International Game Technology PLC, they've signed a multi-year deal, exclusive licensing agreement to develop and distribute WWE branded omni-channel lottery games and turnkey promotional programs featuring WWE logos, superstars, events, and programs. The quote was, IGT is the clear industry leader in the lottery and gaming space, and we look forward to collaborating by bringing our intellectual property to our fans and lottery games across the globe. Remember those Ric Flair scratch-off tickets? Woo! I almost bought one on eBay about 5 years ago. And I didn't buy it because I know me. I wouldn't have framed it. I would have just scratched that son of a bitch off. And if I would have won, I don't even know if I could cash in. I don't even know if I could cash in. But I will tell you that in the past, not recently, but in the past, you would find WWE games in casinos. You would see slot machines that would have a wrestling theme to it. Who was the former diva? Was it Eva Marie? Eva Marie? Oh, Eva Marie sounds awfully recent, but there was a casino game out not too long ago that featured a former WWE wrestler. I can't remember who it was. I think Eva Marie did it too, but I could swear it was somebody from a little bit further back. Can't remember. I don't remember. I got to look into that. But yeah, that's what we got to look forward to now. All these licensing deals. It's going to be curious. Candice Michelle, was that it? Larry C., I think you are right. Candice Michelle, I think, was featured on some video games. Yes. The more I'm thinking about it now, like she would just like, you would just see her likeness and everything. It wasn't like that you pull a lever and you try to get 3 tits instead of 3 like cherries. Like, hey, I got 3 Candace tits. Give me my prize. I don't like talking like that. She's a mom now, I believe. But I still have those foot fetish videos. Oh, my God. I was an asshole back then. I know some people are like, you're still an asshole now. But, man, remember that we would break all those nudes? We would get some wild stuff. A lot of you out there do not remember some of the shit that went down. I'm not really proud of it, but just to show you how different things are. Do you remember the first ever Divas search? And I know some of you know this story already. The first ever Divas search, it was won by Jaime Koeppe. Now that Divas search was, is that the same one as Christy and Carmella? I have to put a link next week so you could see the article I wrote when Christy Hemme and Carmella Desacer, was that her name? When they had like 20 people still in the tournament, and somebody that worked for WWE sent me, an email. They're like, look, do not out my name, but this contest is all rigged, and they wanted to come down to Christy versus Carmella. And for about, I think, 4 weeks, all I kept saying on my hotline was Christy Carmella, Christy Carmella, Christy Carmella. I kept doing it. It was on my website for a month. And it ended up going down to Christy Carmella. The 2004, just think about that. It's 18 years ago. Jaime Koeppe won the Divas search. And some nudie magazine producer that was a fan of my hotline, and I was putting the hotline reports online. They're like, I got something for you. You can't reveal where you got it from. I got something for you. And it was about 100 nudes of Jaime Koeppe. WWE made her appear as the girl next door, Jaime Koeppe. I went on my website and I posted all the nudes. I guarantee you, if you do a Google search, you type in my name, Anthony DeBlasi, because I was not Don Tony yet. You type in my name and you type in Jaime Koeppe. I'm sure somebody somewhere still has a message board about it. I posted all the nudes. Oh, yeah, Jaime Koeppe was 2000. Okay, so Jaime Koeppe was the 2003 Divas search. Christy Carmella was 2004. So me and my website was the center of controversy with the Divas search for 2 years. But I put all the nudes online, and I would tease it by putting the Aflac duck like over her private parts. But then I think it was about a year later, she sends me an email and she's like, look, I'm no longer a model. I'm no longer in wrestling. I got young kids. I don't want my kids to grow up and see nude pictures of mommy online. She says, would you take them down? Now, I may have been an asshole back then, but I wasn't a dick. There's a big difference between being an asshole and being a dick. Some people online, yeah, they could be assholes. Other people, the dick. I wasn't going to be a dick. And I told her, I said, sure, no problem. I took them down. And that was the end of it. But the 2004 Divas search, that was wild, because when we got the info that the whole plan is for it to come down to Christy versus Carmella, and they were trying to play it off as this authentic contest, and I wrote in this timeline. It's crazy. I'll show you screenshots next week. It'll blow your mind. What you will get from that is, wow, DT, you had a lot of free time on your hands back then. A lot of free time on your hands. That was pretty wild. But we had so many nudes. I mean, every time somebody was revealed with something with nudes, they seemed to come my way. Candice Michelle. I don't know if it was Evolt. This is the first time I'm thinking of that name in a long time. I don't know if it was Evolt or maybe just Volt. But Candice Michelle did a bunch of nude videos for some company. Now, it wasn't any like sex. It was just nudity modeling and stuff. but she did some foot fetish videos. And she's laying on the chair and her bazoombas are hanging out, X-rated, nudity. And you got some guy like massaging her feet, licking her feet, kissing her feet. Candice Michelle, there was another video where she's fantasizing what her dream guy is. I don't remember if she said a wrestler. I don't remember if there was a question asking her about a wrestler. This is before she became a star, but I got those. I put them online, and man, the threats that I got back then, holy shit. Any of you remember that stuff? I have the videos still. I actually played one on the Discord channel about maybe a year and a half ago. That was before I found out that, we had a bunch of backstabbers there. But I still have my old hard drive. I still have all the pictures. I still have, the Wayback Machine. I will tell you this much. If you go on Wayback Machine's website and you type in wrestling-news.com, the Divas search was 2003, 2004. If you go right around the time of the Divas search and just go on my website, you'll see the screenshots. I mean, I really don't want to do it here because I don't have it set up, but I could try, and then we'll get out of here. We'll get out of here. So let me see if we could do it. Let me see. I mean, I've never tried to do something like this live like this, but hey, maybe we could do it. Let me see what I can do. It might be an epic fail, but for those on video, you may absolutely love this. Now, this is Wayback Machine. This is not me, so I can't get in trouble. So, yeah, let's do this. Let's spend 2-3 minutes, and let's see if we can go back memory lane. What we got to do before I go on the channel, can someone let me know what month was the Divas search in 2003 and what month was the Divas search in 2004? This way I could go on right smack to the point of my website. Right now I'm pulling up my website. You can't see it yet. Don't worry. I'm going to put it on the screen any second. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm waiting for someone in the chat room just to let me know what month was the Divas search for 2003 and what month was for 2004. Now, I will not post nudes. I will not. I think the teaser, there's an Aflac duck in front of the things. You could go on Wayback Machine at your leisure later on and you could see them for yourself. Okay, July 2003. So let's go, let's go to 2004 first. Let's see if we can find the Christy Carmella because there's no nudity there. All right, so July to September. Yeah, it was about 2 months. All right, so we're going to go 2005. Let's put it on the screen. Now, if you look, see here with my mouse, you see how, big 2005 was at that time? I mean, there was a lot of activity. Now, unfortunately, I can't enlarge the screen for some reason, but let's go to 2005, and let's go to July 28th. Let's see what the website looked like at that time. I don't know if the article was there yet. Oh, yeah, look, there you go. I don't know if you could see it here. Maybe, can I zoom in on this? Maybe I can. Yeah, I can. Okay, I can zoom in this way. See, look, there's the Tess Broussard interview. See, the interview Steve Austin doesn't want you to see. That was the interview. He has me blocked for 17, 18 years. There wasn't even Twitter at that time. He had me blocked. All right, so this was the Christy Carmella artist. See, look, exposed. Check this out. September 16th, 2004. Look, July 19th, the birth of Christy. Look at the Home Alone. Remember Rob Feinstein at the time? He was accused of, Yeah, we used to call the ROH guys the Fantastic Four. But see this? Back on July 9th, 2004, WWE announced the 28 remaining finalists for the Divas search. Within 10 days of the list, the authenticity of the contest was questioned. Well, wrestling-news.com questioned it. Since July 19th, we have been reporting on the website and brainwashing our hotline callers that WWE wanted Christy Carmella as their two. And this goes on and on. Late Wednesday night, Wrestling-News.com received information from a very reliable source that Carmella was voted off the contest with the least number of votes at least 2 times. I'm chuckling at some websites only now, 2 months later, after the damage is done, that they're talking about the contest. Some are saying it's fixed. Others make you vote as if it's legit. And here is, in chronological order, every article that I did from that time that exposed. See, this is the timeline. These are all the articles. WWE changed the rules so they could keep Christy and Carmella in there. Who's counting the votes? Why Christy and Carmella? I wonder if these links work. Let me see what happens if we click on one of these links. Now look at that. There's my article. August 2004. The reason why Carmella dodged the WWE dodgeball. I mean, there was so much uncovered. Look at this. This was all the exposed. You see anybody doing this now these days? But you know what? Since we're here, I want to see this. I want to see if this article is still on here. Where is it? Where is it? Where's Rob? Yeah, there we go. Ring of Honor's Gabe Sapolsky. Quote, this has been like a 9/11 for the company. He compared Ring of Honor's situation with Rob Feinstein to 9/11. A lot of people still do not know that to this day. The story breaks. Look, Rob running to his car. I used to have video of that online. I don't know if... does this video still work? Oh, my God, if this still works. Let's see. Oh, my God, the title used to be RF Perv WMV. Let's see if this works. I don't think it does. No results found. But yeah, look, these are all the articles that I wrote about this back then. You ever see anybody doing anything like this now? I deserve to get punched in the mouth back then. Look at this. It's never ending. These are all articles. So let's go back. See if anybody's pissed off right now. Okay, everybody's still hanging around. All right, now let's go to 2004. Let's see if we could find the Jamie Koeppe stuff. Yeah, we used to have teasers. Look, click here for more women. You got to look, Stephanie, Divas and Puppies. Women in Thongs. Britney Spears and Celebrity Chicks. What happened when we click on it? Look at that. My old freaking menu is still here. Yeah, I even had a segment for Mae Young. Look, that's my old website. Puppies. Let's click on Mae Young. Let's see if the pictures come up. I'll laugh. Look at this. They fucking come up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had a pictorial gallery. This was my gallery. See, look, click down here for others. Yeah. This was my gallery. See, Candace Michelle must be 18 to view. We will not post those. All right, let's go back. 2003. Enough teasing. Let's see if we could find Jamie Koeppe. So, was it August of 03? Let's see. Let's go see. Let's take a look. Okay. Interview Mick Foley. Toxicology, Miss Elizabeth. There's my Tombstone radio. I used to play wrestling theme music 24 hours a day. WWE allowed me. Yes, nicely. You get, look, I was talking about trios. Look, they're going to create a trios title. I had a poll. Famous trios. Who says the best trios? I was talking about trios before trios was cool. Where's Jamie Koeppe? Stephanie's pair of mistakes. That's when her boobs popped out that time. I don't see. The Maven Invaders is epic, man. You could still play Maven Invaders. I had a video game that was Maven Invaders. All right. I got to go back to my screen. Hang on. Hold on. Could someone let me know when was, okay, the Divas search was July 1st, 2003. All right, let me go back there. So what that means is the photos, I think, came out afterwards. I think I got the photos after she won. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, look, the shirt I have on. There you go. Look, that's awesome. The shirt. Oh, yeah. Here it is. This is, look, WWE Diva, not the girl next door. Remember how we exposed this farce called the WWE Diva search? Hell, we even reported weeks before the contest that ended that WWE already picked the winner. If you were a contestant, you may find comfort that WWE may be wiping egg off their face with their handpicked winner. Read our article, view the few dozen nude photos we uncovered of the winner. Not only did we expose how shady this contestant was, but Jamie Koeppe decided to expose something as well, herself. Now, I have to take this off the screen for a minute. I have to, we got to be careful over here. I want to make sure that there's no nudity. Hold on. I'm looking. Oh, okay. All right. I can show something. Okay. The nudity is censored out. All right. So here, I will put you back on the screen. Here we go. Here's a little treat. These are quotes from the Diva Search winner. Okay. When I first entered, I didn't think I'd make it this far. I was surprised. I didn't really know how it was going. I was pretty surprised. I've been in bikini contests, and I've seen a lot of bikini contests. I decided to go with those themes because I thought it would bring out a little bit of my personality. Yeah, she was in bikini contest. Yeah, that's not her, by the way. This was a website where they would charge memberships to see her in compromised positions, revealing outfits. This was a little bit of her bio that we uncovered. And then, there we go. There we go. Updated September 2003. After what we exposed, many things about this sham called the Diva Search, we now learn that we weren't the only ones exposing. For everyone that has read our article atop this page, many felt bad for the contestants that were misled and mistreated. Some contestants actually emailed us thanking us for exposing the story. Now, Jamie Koeppe would like to expose something herself. I am not clicking that link. You could go on Wayback Machine if you want. You could see it for yourself. Yeah, she was listed in the amateur porn directory as well. Now, you could understand why. Look, I even offered supersize like McDonald's. See over here? Look, we got 5 different photo sets, and we have high resolution, everyone, 1024, and supersize. Yeah, supersize was considered 2160 by 1440. Yep. So there you go. There's proof. Flashback to memory lane. Man. See, like people say to me to this day, oh, DT, how come you're not verified on Twitter and this and that? I mean, I'm not like really looking for that. But man, when you see the people today with the way they report stuff, you have no idea the shit that we used to do, or I used to do 20 years ago. And the stuff is still there for viewing. But man, that's amazing that the links still work. I mean, I'm obviously not going to click on the link, but you could do that at your leisure, especially if you're over the age of 18. We don't want any, minors looking at that. But yeah, go check it out. There's some gems back then. Perry Saturn, no selling bullets. That was extremely controversial. I posted screenshots of court papers, and when his ex-wife, her and a lawyer were contacting me, where is he? That was wild stuff. Man, look, if I could still do that today, I wouldn't do it because although we had so much exclusive stuff, I'm not into being a dirtbag. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. I just want to have fun and laugh. I don't want to laugh at other people's expense, but that's what Wayback Machine is for. You could go back on my website. You could go back to 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those were the golden years. And the funny thing about it was I pretty much ran the website by myself. When I used to write they, we, I would just do that because I didn't want anybody to know, like, there's the dickhead, there's the asshole. You know, I put my name behind things too, but man, those were wild. Those were wild. I mean, I even remember when Gail Kim, somebody from some magazine sent us photos of Gail Kim topless. And I felt so guilty after posting them. And I'm sure if you go on the old website, you could still see them. But I went in the, you know, back then I posted them and I was like, hey, look, another exclusive, you know, and then, I don't know, that was the one where I just felt really awkward, you know, but yeah, that Jamie Koeppe stuff. I mean, you go read those articles about 03 and 04 and the stuff that we exposed, you know, it never gets talked about. I mean, even when you look at Wiki and they look at the history of the Diva search, none of this stuff comes up, but we were documenting it in real time. And I was talking about on my hotline, Matt Zombie, Brian Damage, Timmy, to an extent. We were revealing this stuff every week. And because of the Mike Johnsons and because of the people out there that would play footsie with WWF, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor at the time, MLW, they wanted so desperately to have ties with those companies for their websites. They would never, ever expose stuff like that. XPW, oh yeah, they'll expose all day long. Somebody they don't like, they'll do it all day long. But when it came to the bigger promotions at that time, they would not go anywhere near this stuff. But anyway. Yes, Larry, Gail Kim married, what's his name? Steve. Oh, I can't remember his name. He's a chef. Man, he would do that, those shows where he would show up like a restaurant, bar rescue or restaurant something. I loved his work, man. He was great. Robert Irvine, that's right. What did I think of the other name? Robert Irvine. I mean, I used to watch his shows on the Food Channel. He'd walk into it. And look, you could see, obviously, some of it's fixed. You know, I mean, you see, like, some of the things that he would find behind the counters. A place would get shut down for stuff like that. You know, he would always show up there and he would eat something. He would spit it out. He'd be like, this is garbage. And he always had an owner that had to cry. There was always an owner, usually female, that has a breakdown halfway through the episode. And then by the end of the episode, they're hugging Robert Irvine. And the funny thing about Robert Irvine, let's be honest, Robert Irvine would always make sure that, you know, he would, like, when he would pick up like an egg roll, he would always make sure that when he picks up the egg roll, he's like, yeah, pretend this is an egg roll. Pretend it's egg roll, right? This is garbage. Are you looking at my bicep? Oh, this is awful. Look, my bicep does tricks. Look, this is awful. I don't have biceps like I used to. I used to have good triceps, but he was fun. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay does that too. I never liked Gordon Ramsay. Never liked Gordon Ramsay. Bar Rescue was okay. But Robert Irvine, I used to like his shows. Robert Irvine did one wrestling related too. Didn't he do one for TNA? I think he did one for TNA where they had to prepare like all these meals for like a get together or something. I could swear there was an Impact episode with Robert Irvine, which would make sense. I think there was. Or maybe it was WWE. But there was an episode where Robert Irvine and a bunch of people were preparing like meals for some wrestling related event. It was either Impact or WWE. So, all right, let's get out of here. I think we had a fun night. Dixie Carter in the chat says, love you, DT. Dixie Carter definitely didn't lie. I will say this. Looking back at those years, I do feel bad. Going so hard, I know that sounds perverted, I don't mean it like that, but going so hard on Dixie. She had very good, well intentions. I mean, I don't think she definitely deserves some criticism, no question. But Dixie Carter did a lot for pro wrestling, and I think she should be celebrated a little bit more, to be honest with you. I really do. I really think Dixie Carter should be celebrated more. I'm a little surprised that there has not been more appreciation outside of Impact Wrestling for Dixie Carter. So, Nero Faye, shout out to you. We were talking about you earlier. Last super chat before I go. Of Vince McMahon, or if, I think he meant if. That's okay. I'll pull it back up. If Vince McMahon never came up with the Undertaker character, what becomes of the career of Mark Calloway? Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe similar to the biker character. It's so hard to tell, man. I mean, you know, you think about him with this, in WCW, it's Me Mark. It always felt like a little bit of a brawler, a bully, you know, a striker. We don't know. I mean, it's so hard when you think of certain wrestlers and you say to yourself, okay, what do you think would have happened if this didn't happen or this didn't happen? And you can look at that in the opposite sense. There have been wrestlers over the years that we thought would go so much further and don't. And you say to yourself, wow, I wonder what this wrestler would have done if they changed this or if they tweaked this. I tell you, I know it sounds so out of place for this comment, but man, when Curtis Axel came in, from day one, on almost every episode that I did, from day one, when Curtis Axel came in as McGillicuddy, I said, they got to do Mr. Imperfect. He had to be the opposite of his father, Kurt Hennig. I wanted to see Curtis Axel bowl and get a gutter ball. I want to see him throw air balls. I want him to strike out. I want him to get tackled out of his shoes. I wanted Mr. Imperfect probably more than any other, even the Abul Shita character that I came up with. Man, I wanted Mr. Imperfect. I can't believe they never did it. I can't believe somewhere else never did it. It could have poked fun, and I think fans would have fell in love with the guy. So it's hard to say what would have happened to The Undertaker if he never debuted. By the way, you know, I posted in the community section for the winners to select their prizes from last week. You know, we're going to pull back on the prizes for a little while, but I got a couple that I'm going to send out to JSA that does the, you know, very expert authentication. I have some Vince McMahon photos that I want to get JSA authenticated, that if I get those authenticated, they got to be worth $300 to $500 a piece. And I could only imagine, you know, what they could be worth a couple of years from now. So, you know, we're going to pull back a little bit on the contest for a little bit, but when they do come around, they're going to be probably more valuable than before. We'll still do giveaways for some people in wrestling today. I mean, you know, I got somebody sending me a stack of pictures like this with Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Sasha, you know, some of the stars of today. I'm trying to get somebody to hook me up with AEW stuff, but it's really, really difficult. I get no bites back. Somebody hooked me up with a really cool Britt Baker photo, but other than that, I mean, it's really, really difficult to get anything from AEW just to give away. But, you know, I always ask once in a while, I'll ask someone like, hey, you know, could you see, like I said, I'm waiting for those 3 Mandy Rose photos that I sent to the Performance Center. And I should be getting them back soon. So, all right, everyone. Nia thinks that Undertaker would have ended up in ECW. That's possible. It's very possible. But I don't know, you know, with his reddish hair at the time and him, you know, like, I don't know how they would have came across in ECW. I don't know if he would have been well received. I don't know if he would have been well received. I would think that Undertaker probably would have grown his hair longer just for his style. And maybe, they would have thought about dyeing it or something, but there's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing. So, all right, everybody, let me get out of here. We had a nice, fun conversation. Kept it real. Again, we don't have to I don't like these releases at all. I'm not sticking up for WWE, but I understand it. I make sense of it. This is what happens when you have $1 billion entertainment company in the middle of a pandemic and a recession. You have wrestlers, trainers, producers still agreeing to deals, knowing what could happen down the line, yet they still sign. And remember this. Everybody that's been released, they were getting paid nicely by WWE. Take note that no one ever complains about how much money they were making in WWE. No one ever reveals how much money they were making in WWE. So don't make it sound like, all right, well, this person was only there for 3-4 months and they let he or she go. Well, guess what? They got paid for those 3-4 months. A lot of other people have been out of a job for 3 or 4 months. So having some income, better than nothing. That's how I look at it. We got to remember these people didn't work for free. And for developmental territory, there's a reason why some of these trainers have been there 6, 7, 8, 10 years, because their pay is reasonable. They still do a valuable job and they still have a lot of worth in WWE. Some people that come in afterwards, maybe not so much the case. I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just trying to understand it. But I'm not going to sit here with the clickbait emotional stuff so we could just yell and spit in the wind. What does that do? Okay, I convinced a whole bunch of people a narrative that's not true. What does that do? It may get me, some exposure now. Then what? It gets taken away and you're left with nothing. So, I take pride that I'm around for 25 years. And I take pride that there's a lot of you out there that still tune in. And trust me, if I didn't have a lot of you tuning in, especially on the audio only side, you would not see that very cool little blue logo down there, Blue Wire. Never in a million years ever think I would land that. And they reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. And I am honored to be part of the Blue Wire family. And to see that I'm only one of 7 wrestling shows there. And the other shows are Gallows and Anderson, Chris Van Vliet, Sam Roberts, Chavo, and 2 others. I mean, how does that happen? So believe me, you know how that happens? Sarah, no pandering, all of you. You think they put me on there because they just like me? No, they put me on there because I have a very loyal base that tune into the shows. I mean, I'm sure if it were up to them, I wouldn't be on YouTube because my video is not there. It's only audio. But, without all of you, that wouldn't exist. So, that's why, like I say, you see a lot of people yelling and screaming online, spitting in the wind. Who are they affiliated with? What networks have they? If they're that spot on and accurate, why aren't networks picking up on all these shows? I mean, look at me. It took me 24 years, 23 years to get on a network. That tells you something, so. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. Have a great night. I will be back Saturday night for the Don Tony show. I will have some really good topics to talk about. We will definitely get into them. And then Sunday will be the sit down. We'll work on call-ins for the whole show. So if you want to call in, you want to talk releases, you want to debate me on anything I said, I don't bite. It's all good. We'll do that Sunday. And then remember, next Thursday, the live stream will be open for channel members. But if you're not a channel member, you will be able to see the show after the live episode ends in video and audio form, obviously. So thank you as always, everybody. Have a great night. Here it's 12:30 in the morning, so I got to get my ass going do this editing, get everything online. So have a great Friday night. Enjoy SmackDown. Roman Reigns will be back. Enjoy Rampage. I already saw the spoilers. Looks like a rock solid show for an hour. And enjoy the weekend. So all the best to you. I see you soon.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the hosts. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.